All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Friday, August 20th, 2021. A week ago, our headlines were all full of what was going on in Afghanistan. 2 days before Afghanistan's government supposedly fell on the Jesuit order's birthday. And this big focus on Afghanistan and the Taliban comes 20 years after 2001, the year we invaded Afghanistan after 9/11. We're so close to the 20-year anniversary of the big day. Of course, on April 14th of this year, Joe Biden announced that we were going to have all of the troops out of Afghanistan by September 11th. They had to do it on the 20-year anniversary. And again, I haven't talked about this for a while, the significance of 20 and the letter T. Again, think about it. A T is a cross, right? A T is a cross. And the cross has been used as a symbol of time by the pagans for longer than Christianity's been around. And with regards to T, the 20th letter, and 20 years later in the Taliban, of course, we'll be talking about the Templars. If you've read my books, I talked about how the invasion of Afghanistan was a Templar ritual. But again, Taliban T, Templar T, 20 T, time T. All of these things start with a T, right? And T is the 20th letter. A lowercase t looks just like a cross. It's equivalent to 20. It's the 20th letter of the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, up to T is the 20th letter. Now, from 2013, I've taught the same two ciphers, English Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, that I learned out of Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And he shares this cipher, the alphabetic order, and he says what's the most important cipher is the alphabetic order with the rules numerology. And what's interesting about that cipher is when you write out time, it equals 20. Time is 20. If you write out cross, it equals 20. The cross used to symbolize time. The cross represents the 4 seasons to the pagans. The 4 seasons. Seasons, 20, right? And of course, the cross is also associated with death, the death and resurrection of Jesus. Death is also 20. Everyone dies in time. But T, the 20th letter, 20 so associated with time. And now this big ritual, 20 years later with the Taliban. So, coming back to Taliban, I'm gonna talk about some things that were in my video that just got censored by YouTube the other day. I finally had a video that got a lot of views, and sure enough, it got a strike and taken down. And it was the video we did on Afghanistan on Sunday, August 15th. But notice Taliban is 59. Remember, the superior general of the Jesuits, Arturo Sosa, from his birthday, November 12th, to the Jesuit birthday, the day that the government fell, that was his 277th day of his age, the 59th prime number. So on the perfect day, on the Jesuit birthday, synced up with their leader, the Taliban supposedly overthrows the government, right? And again, in the official 9/11 story, the Taliban was was created by the CIA. The CIA funded the startup of the Taliban to, essentially wage guerrilla warfare with the Soviet Union. And with regards to the Jesuits and the Templars, again, those are the military orders of the Catholic Church. Now notice Templar, the word Templar that starts with a T is 85. Remember, we invaded Afghanistan October 7th, the day leaving 85 days left in the year. You see? You see how simple gematria is? Just these words, and they're simple, their most simple form. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. How clear the ritual is. The Templars waged the Crusades in the same area of the world that Afghanistan is, Iraq is, what was once Babylon. And again, it's very easy to understand how all this is when you see who's really running the show in this world. All roads lead to Rome. The English language comes from the Catholic Church. The calendar we're on comes from the Catholic Church. And when you learn this simple code, you see how it's all synced up. October 7th is the day leaving 85 days left in the year. October 7th is 107. Military is 107. The Templars, the ancient military order of the Catholic Church. The current military order of the Catholic Church is the Jesuits, who have the Templar cross in their logo. This is the Jesuit logo if you're not familiar. IHS, which stands for Isus Hominum Salvator. And again, Templar equals 85. Guess what Isus Hominum Salvator equals in the Most Pure Cipher? In the Most Pure Cipher, Isus Hominum Salvator is 85. And we just talked about the big 85 ritual they did with Myanmar and its military overthrowing its puppet government, also in a major Jesuit ritual. Again, Burma's government was established on the day the Jesuits were recognized by Rome, September 27th. The day they were created in history is August 15th, the day Afghanistan's government just fell. So, T, a number of time. Here we're having a major ritual in time. And it's a reminder whose time we're on. We're on the Catholic Church's time. We're on their calendar. We're speaking their language. And we are living out their planned rituals that they execute by this code against us every single day. Now, with regards to time and how we measure time, it's all about the sun, right? And here's the Jesuit logo. It's got the Templar cross, the IHS for Isus Hominum Salvator, the 3 nails for Triclavianism, and then you got the sun with the 32 sun rays. Now remember, in the most simple cipher, when you write out God's son, like male offspring, God's son is 93. They tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. When you write out crucifix, a cross, crucifix is 93. When you write out Nazareth, it's 93. Again, look it up. Modern science says they figured out Jesus' date of crucifixion. They say it's April 3rd, which is the 93rd day of the year. And again, in the Bible, Jesus was crucified between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. And the story of Jesus in the Bible begins with Matthew 1, which is the 930th chapter of the Bible, 930. The Son of God, the English word for sun, for the object in the sky, the male offspring, the Catholic Church who wanted to bring the pagans under, their control, have them worship under their name. Sunday, Afghanistan's government fell on a Sunday. And with regards to 93, remember, this was the Jesuits' 487th birthday, the day Afghanistan's government fell. 487 is the 93rd prime number. The Jesuits were created August 15th, 1534. They turned 487 years old. Again, numberempire.com, great website for looking up prime number relationships. You can also do it at GematriaEffect.New. I do it there, but it does it on a pop-up window and then you can't see it. But 487 is the 93rd prime. Afghanistan, international dialing code, if I can type it, is plus 93. They are the plus 93 international dialing code. And realize, all of this was done by design with this planned ritual. We are living out a plan, you guys. 9/11, when that happened, that wasn't planned, a few months in advance, a few years in advance. It was planned a long time in advance. Before 1968. The plan went into motion in 1968, but who knows exactly when it was planned out. The point is, nearly 50 years before it happened. And that's what people need to understand, that we are living out a planned reality. A plan is being waged against us. And, for years, we've been alerting people to what the plan is, how you can see through it, what to expect. We knew that by the time 2020 came, it would get really bad in this nation if we didn't wake up, organize, and fight back and shut down this federal government and this news media. And again, here we are. But just more evidence of how perfect the plan is and who's responsible. And all of you guys who come and watch the videos and leave the same old tired comments and saying, it's not the Jesuits, you're gatekeeping. I mean, you guys are a joke. It's clearly the Jesuits. The rituals are so perfectly synced with them all throughout history. They're the only people you can trace it to. We're on their calendar. We're speaking their language. No one has greater reach in the world. No one has more establishment. No one has a longer historical track record. It's undeniable it's them. Now, with regards to the guy who stepped down that made this happen, likely a Jesuit puppet, the president of Afghanistan. Notice his name has the same gematria, Society of Jesus, as Washington, D.C., as Paris, France, where the Jesuits are from. But here's the superior general of the Jesuits, Arturo Sosa, again from his birthday to the fall, 277 days, the 59th prime. Taliban overtakes the government. Again, the Taliban was started by the CIA. And remember, the biggest number with the Jesuits is 201. And the CIA was created September 18th, 1947, the 201st day of the Pope's age. If you look up the letters or the words in the CIA logo, again, in the most pure cipher, what's in the CIA logo is Central Intelligence Agency and then United States of America. Again, look it up. That's exactly what's written in the CIA's logo, 201. Remember, the Jesuit order is 201. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder, is 201. Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope. Jorge Mario Bergoglio is 201. He's the first pope to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican, which is known as the Domus Sancti Marte, which is 201, and the rest of the list. You know, The Office, the hit show in Jesuit Scranton, ran 201 episodes, and then they got the shaggy-haired guy to play the Jack Ryan character in the CIA TV show. And Tom Clancy wrote in his Jack Ryan books that, by the way, Jack Ryan's Jesuit educated. He went to Boston College in the book series. But he makes the quote about how the Jesuits run the world. You know, they're just humble about it. I don't know about humble. And also, I just want to remind that from Arturo Sosa's birthday to the day this happened, it was his 277th day of his age. But look what happens if you don't count the span of days. It's 9 months and 3 days after his birthday, you know? And again, that's a lot like 93. From November 12, 2020 to August 15th, 9 months, 3 days. 487th birthday, 93rd prime. Plus 93 international dialing code. The World Trade Centers led to the invasion of Afghanistan. The World Trade Centers were bombed in 93. Flight 93. Again, blind sheik equals 93, who the 93 World Trade Center bombing was blamed on. So, this also came 27 days before September 11th. We invaded Afghanistan in a span of 27 days from September 11th. The ritual number, they're blaming what's happened in Afghanistan on number 46, Joe Biden. Remember, Catholic equals 46, 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. The election of Biden was 46 weeks after Pope Francis's birthday, which is how we called the election for Biden, way before it happened. Biden said he would get us out of Afghanistan by September 11th on April 14th, 14/4. President Biden 144, Jesuit Order 144, Overthrow 144. Remember, the election was simulated June 12th, 2020, 144 days before the election on November 3rd. That Joe Biden would win in a narrow election. Trump would refuse to step down, saying he was cheated. It would lead to deadly violence in the streets of America. And then you had the Capitol insurrection, which was 201 days after the Confederate statue fell in D.C. of Albert Pike. You know what I mean? So, Jesuit order, of course, is 144. You know, that's the big one. 144 days. And then from the day that Biden said that to the day the government fell, 123 days, the conspiracy number. All of this stuff is so carefully planned. And notice, conspiracy, 1, 2, 3, like counting, right? And that's what they're doing. They're counting days. You know, these conspiracies that they really do wage, they're not theories. The conspiracies that they wage against humanity are calculated and counted. You know, start to understand phrases like your number is up. Okay. So if you're new here, we talked about the most simple cipher in the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. Since then, we've learned that you have to run the alphabetic order in reverse because it just becomes so apparent that that's the other half of the code. Isus Hominum Salvator, we talked about how it equals 85. Notice how it also equals 266. Again, Pope Francis is the 266th Pope, the first Jesuit Pope, and that's their motto. The 122 is perfect because Pope Francis equals 122. And of course, his name is Francis, like France, where the Jesuits were created on August 15th, 1534. You see how Pope Francis is 59 in the most pure cipher? Biden won the 59th election, which was 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. And we talked about all this stuff a year in advance. The 59-46, why Biden would won the 59th election 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday and become number 46. Again, Catholic 46, also 35. JFK number 35, the first Catholic president, killed at age 46. Biden, the second Catholic president, number 46, inaugurated on the 35th day of the Pope's age. And again, the Middle East, Israel created May 14th, 14/5. In the Old Testament, in the Catholic Bible, again, there's 145 more chapters than there is the Protestant Old Testament. And again, 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. And don't forget this year for Israel's 73rd birthday, they bombed Gaza all week. So again, you got to know your ciphers forwards and backwards. 73 books in the Catholic Bible. Theodor Herzl. Remember Theodor Herzl, the founder of Zionism? His name's 73 in the most pure cipher. He died July 3rd, 73. So this year, Israel turned 73, and they were bombing Gaza all week. You know, we knew it was going to be a big deal when Israel turned 73. We had that circled. What's going to be the big ritual? Ended up being bombing campaign against Gaza by the numbers. Again, this is how these psychopaths operate, killing people ritualistically. And again, I'm getting a lot of comments from long time. I understand that everyone's frustrated right now because it's bad times, and it seems like a lot of people are taking out at me and acting like I'm not doing enough. But you guys, the work has never been more concrete. It's never been more complete. It's never been more clear. And again, we have the message right now at this moment in history to shine a big bright light on what is going on, who's doing it, for what purpose. And again, for all of you guys getting mad at me and saying I need to do more and it's gone flat and, we're not making the progress we need, what more can I do, you guys? I mean, did you guys give up 6 months of your life and go and stand on a corner and, yell at the top of your lungs trying to raise awareness in your community? No, you didn't, did you? You just complained to me. You could have done that and maybe something would have happened. But yeah, running the alphabetic order in reverse. Again, notice the word Christ is 85, right? Christ, the Templars, the Catholic Church. There's a reason behind all this. The Crusades in the name of Christianity, Christ. But is that what Christ ever would have wanted? Christ, I don't know if Christ is a fictional character or somebody who really walked the earth, but either way, based on the teachings in the story, I mean, would he have been waging war against anybody? He was Mr. Turn the Other Cheek, It's interesting because Christ didn't really have any, if he ever got violent, it was against the money changers, the bankers, who are the Templars. So, again, you just look at the whole history of the Catholic Church. I mean, they're the exact opposite of what they claim to be about. They're wolves in sheep's clothing, Templars and Jesuits. And again, look at the Jesuit universities. Look at how many of their schools are the wolves or the wolf pack. It's like, okay. I think they're putting it all on the surface for us. And with regards to putting it all on the surface, I mean, who missed this the other day? They showed this all day, the same clip over and over, the dance party in Afghanistan in front of plane 1109. And how did this all start? With planes and 9/11? Then they got footage from the airport. And remember, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Vatican's 119. Francis 119. You see how Paris, France is 70? You see that? Look at Francis again. 70. Vatican 70. The Jesuits from Paris, France. The whole language synced up to pay tributes to their history. You know what I mean? Just to go back to show how they do this stuff over and over. On May 8th, there was a bombing in Afghanistan, right? On May 8th, a bombing in Afghanistan, a date that can be written 8/5. And then after that happened, what did I do? Then the death toll. Death toll rises to 85, right? After the May 8th bombing. And again, Templar 85. We invaded Afghanistan on the day leaving 85 days left in the year. They are reporting ritualistic numbers to us in headlines every single day. Every single day. You know? Just right in front of our face. Every single day. Treating us like we're blind, like we have no intelligence, like we have no pattern recognition skills, like we have no common sense, like we don't know a thing about physics, like we don't know a thing about human health, like we don't know a thing about anything. Like all we know is to follow what authority tells us. That's how they treat us. And they get away with it. And that should tell you all you need to know about humanity. That they are trained, programmed, and only to follow authority. And that's a big problem. And that's because we all went to 13 years of slave school, and that's what the main lesson was every day we were there. So just going back over some of the headlines this year. Al-Qaeda promises war on all fronts against America as Biden pulls out of Afghanistan. Now, something that's really interesting that was just caught that I did not know about. This was April 30th, the 120th day of the year. And that emphasized phrase equals 188 like Bavarian Illuminati, like war on all fronts. On the 120th day of the year, Illuminati 120. And remember, the Bavarian Illuminati was created by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, May 1st, 1776. Well, do you know what year Kabul, Afghanistan was established? Somebody just pointed this out to me just the other day. 1776, the same year this nation was established. Look at this. Kabul, established in 1776. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Because now it made me go back and look at this. I was like, no wonder. And that bombing we just talked about with the Templar ritual, that was in Kabul. So, again, this agenda's been building, you guys, for centuries. And they've had a big master plan. You know. So, this headline, U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan has begun. What day did withdrawal begin, you guys? It began on April 29th, which is the 119th day of the year. And then as they're telling you that this was a terrible idea, huge blunder by Senile Joe from Jesuit Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of The Office that ran 201 episodes, reminding that his wife and daughter died right after he became senator-elect in a big 201 ritual, reminding that his son Beau Biden died at age 46, 201 days before Pope Francis' birthday. But, then they start showing you this with plane 1109, after the troop withdrawals began on the 119th day of the year, right? Keep in mind, you guys, this video will probably be taken down for hate speech again, just like it did the other night, even though there was zero hate speech in it. So, if you like it, be sure to download it when it's over. Probably won't last long. But, just everything's a joke. April 14th, he says, we'll be out by September 11th. 15 days later, on the 119th day of the year, withdrawals begin. I mean, it's so obvious. It's so obvious, People sit there and criticize, who'd be doing stuff by numbers? It's like, were you not alive on September 11th? Didn't that seem obvious to you? A 911 national emergency? Buildings 1, 2, and 7 fall. They call it the new Pearl Harbor. What day did Pearl Harbor happen? Oh yeah, 127, December 7th. What's ground zero equal? 127. What's that? The 31st prime. 31's the 11th prime. New York's the 11th state. Big buildings that look like 11s on the 11th of the month. Flight AA11, the master number in numerology. Have you guys heard how many days they're saying it took for Afghanistan to fall? 11 days for Afghanistan government to fall. I keep hearing them say it over and over in the news. 11 days. 11 days. Well, I thought if I did a web search, there it is. They have it right here. CIA warned of rapid Afghanistan collapse. Yeah, so heard them saying all day today, 11 days. No intel that Afghan government would fall in 11 days. I mean, this whole thing is just such a joke. It's just such a joke. Cuomo is 11 accusers. You know, the day before the sexual assault thing that was the final nail in the coffin, we did it the day before. We said, watch for tomorrow on 8-6 for some sexual assault stuff with Cuomo. Boom, next day, sexual assault 86, groping 86. I mean, all of this stuff, you guys, is so easy to see through. It's so predictable. It's so transparent. You know. Told you before the year began to be a big year of Jesuit military war rituals from Burma to Afghanistan so far. Where's next? It's not a party until they get the third one. Who's going to be number 3? Is that going to be on September 27th? By the way, Rudy Giuliani, when 9/11 happened, it was his 107th day of his age. He was the 107th mayor of New York. Remember, military's 107, and then we invaded on October 7th, 107. And what's Rudy Giuliani? Italian, like a mobster, like a Jesuit, like a Catholic. Anthony Fauci, Jesuit scumbag. What's he? You know? They got all their rituals so perfectly planned out. So, okay, I was just going through the headlines I have on Afghanistan and the time that I've had this website. You just look at all these. It all points back in the same direction, every last one. Jesuits, Templars, Illuminati, it's all the same thing. Templars came before the Jesuits carry on the Templar tradition, the Bavarian Illuminati created by the Jesuit, Adam Weishaupt. In the same year that this nation was created in Kabul, Afghanistan. Go figure. Go figure.